All right, man. Let's take you in a leg lift here. I like how you're staying inside drive leg. I like how you're riding your hips forward and down. I love your back leg load position. I love your force vector. I think your force vector's in a great position. I like how you're keeping your back leg closed. So this is that force vector, that ankle to knee, great force vector. I love how you're sitting into the back leg, loading into that posterior chain. You rode your momentum really well. You're keeping your front side closed. I love all of that, all right? Let's go forward. So into your drive, it's really more of just kind of like a rotational strange. It's almost like you just have great hip mobility. You're just kind of spinning that leg. You're not really pushing into the ground and driving. But what it's doing, it's kicking your hip open. So your hip looks like it's fully open here, and your shoulders are trying to stay closed, but what you're doing is early trunk tilting. So this isn't a great angle to see this, but if we had more of a side angle, your head is going to be way in front of your belt buckle here. So you're letting your trunk get forward too soon, and what's going to happen is this arm is going to get caught behind. So you're going to hyperangulate that arm. So you got to do a better job of, as you're driving that back leg to power that hip open, you got to keep this chin behind belt buckle. You got to keep your trunk back. All right. So you're hitting front foot strike, and you're driving that. You're rotating. You're spinning. You're however you want to do it. Driving that hip through. All right. But that trunk is just leaking too far forward, so it's getting way ahead. All right. Then when we go into shoulder rotation, again, you're not going to be able to see it from this angle, but it's going to be ghosting here. I bet you we would see that this elbow is getting caught behind the scapular plane. So that's that arm drag. So that's going to be hard on your shoulder. It's going to be hard on your UCL. It's really just hard on the arm in general. All right. But going forward, really awesome forward trunk tilts. Like, that's some of the best forward trunk tilts that I've seen. That's crazy. So awesome forward trunk tilts. Front leg is still in flexion, so you're not getting that front leg extension, but you did just a great job of stabilizing and then allowing your front leg or allowing your trunk to just travel over that front leg. So really impressive forward trunk tilt. It's really impressive how you got the hip through, even though if it wasn't as much, drive and linear power. It was more of like a rotational. But still, the biggest things is just, hey, keep that trunk farther back as you're driving that back leg. So get better at just powering that back hip through, keeping your trunk back so you can land, chin farther behind. That's gonna allow you to, more smoothly transfer energy through the kinematic sequence, and then it's going to allow your arm to ride along with your trunk rotation better. So when your trunk is diving forward like that, the arm is just getting caught behind. So then what happens is when you start trunk rotation, that arm is just too delayed, and it gets just way caught behind that scapular plane, and that's what's going to lead to, shoulder pain. That's going to lead to elbow pain. Stuff like that. But then again, just great forward trunk tilt. That's money. That's some of the best forward trunk tilt I've seen. And then you could also get a little bit better at getting more front leg extension to power energy from that front leg back into the trunk, right into pitch release. That's going to increase velocity as well. So just, like I said, big takeaways, keep that trunk back on your initial drive so you can power the hips through, delay the shoulders, don't early trunk tilt. That's going to allow your shoulder rotation and your arm to travel along with the shoulder rotation, so it's not getting disconnected from the shoulder rotation, which leads to, arm pain, arm injuries, stuff like that. Good stuff, man.